Something happened recently that you might have missed. It didn't get a ton of headlines, but it was a really, really big deal. A top-level group from China's Communist Party flew all the way to India for a meeting with the leaders of India's ruling party. And while it might sound kind of dry, this summit could actually change a lot. Let me explain. And when I say this was a big deal, I mean not literally. We're talking about a meeting between China's Communist Party and India's BJP. These are, by far, the two biggest political parties on the entire planet.
But this was way more than just a handshake and a photo op. It was a really smart, calculated move on the global chessboard. And it's one that might just signal some huge shifts in who holds power around the world. So let's break down what's really going on here. Okay, so first things first, let's just talk about the scale we're dealing with. To really get why this meeting matters so much, you have to wrap your head around just how massive these two organizations are. Think about this. In the entire world, there's a super exclusive club of political parties that have more than 100 million official members. It's a club that has, well, just 2 members. And this chart really puts it all into perspective, doesn't it? I mean, look at India's BJP, a staggering 140 million members. Then you have the Chinese Communist Party, the CCP, with about 100 million. Now, just for comparison, look at the big parties in the US. The Democrats have around 44 million, and the Republicans have 37 million. It's not even close. These two Asian political giants are just playing in a totally different league.
All right, so we get it. They're huge. That's the what. But the much more interesting question is, why? Why did the CCP send this delegation over to India right now? The answer goes way beyond just your standard diplomacy.
And here's where it gets really interesting. This is the detail that changes everything. The CCP delegation didn't just have a sit-down with the BJP. They met with another group, too, the RSS. So for those of you who might not know, the RSS is basically the ideological parent of the BJP. It's the engine room, the philosophical core. So by meeting with them, China is sending a huge signal. They're saying, we don't just want to understand your government, we want to understand the very ideas that are driving it. This is a seriously strategic move. So this really shows us what China was trying to do. They're going beyond the usual government channels to really get a feel for the core ideology shaping Indian politics. They want to understand the mood on the ground. And of course, this is all about setting the stage for a potential future visit by Xi Jinping himself. But here's the thing. This whole story isn't just a two-player game between China and India. To really see the full picture, we've got to zoom out and bring in the third major player in all this, the United States. The relationship between India and China right now is, well, it's complicated. On the one hand, you see things warming up a bit. Direct flights are back, and army chiefs are talking about moving troops to build a little trust. But on the other hand, there are still these massive disagreements. India still totally rejects China's claim on the Shokskum Valley, for example. So things are getting better, but they are a long, long way from perfect.
And right into this really delicate situation steps former U.S. President Donald Trump. His recent claims, like this one you see here, saying he single-handedly stopped an India-Pakistan war, have, to put it mildly, not gone over very well in India.
Statements like that have really hurt American credibility in India. It's created what some people are calling a goodwill vacuum. And it's a vacuum that Beijing seems more than happy to try and fill. They see a real opportunity here to boost their own image, just as America's is taking a hit. And all of this brings us to the final, and maybe the most important piece of the puzzle. Because this isn't just about 3 countries jockeying for position. It's about the future of global alliances. It's about a coming battle between massive global blocs. This timeline really puts it all together. You see U.S. goodwill taking a hit in India. Right after that, the CCP makes its very strategic visit. This whole situation casts a pretty big shadow over the future of the U.S.-led Quad Alliance. That group with the U.S., India, Japan, and Australia. But while the Quad's future feels a bit shaky, there's another huge summit that's definitely on the calendar for 2026 in India, the BRICS summit. And you gotta remember, BRICS isn't just those original 5 countries anymore. Nope, it's expanded. Now it includes Egypt, Ethiopia, Iran, and the UAE. This growing China-backed group is a very clear alternative to the alliances led by the West.
This is exactly why people are calling the 2026 BRICS Summit in India an era-defining event. I mean, just picture it.
You could have leaders like Russia's Vladimir Putin and China's Xi Jinping in Delhi, right alongside leaders from Iran and other nations. It would be an incredibly powerful symbol of a non-Western alliance, happening at the very moment the future of the Quad looks so uncertain.
So, what we're really watching here is a global tug of war for influence, and India is standing right in the middle of it. The CCP's quiet little visit was just the latest pull on that rope. And it leaves us with the big question, the one that 2026 might start to answer. As these giants all compete for power, which way is India ultimately going to lean?